I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can I have a salute to the flag? Committeeman Bozzetta, would you like to lead us in the salute?
Be honored to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice requirements of the New Jersey Public Meetings Law have been satisfied by notice in the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times on January 3rd, 2025, stating that a regular meeting of the Colts Neck Township Committee would be held on October 8th, 2025, 7 p.m. Town Hall, 1 Veterans Way, Colts Neck. Copy is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. Further notice was provided to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times on October 6, 2025, noting the meeting time change from 7 to 6:30 p.m.
Thank you. May I have a roll call?
Deputy Mayor Viola.
Here.
Committeeman Bozzetta.
Here.
Committeewoman Fitzpatrick. Here. Committeeman Rizzuto.
Here.
And Mayor Buss.
Here. Resolution 2025-169, executive session. This is potential litigation. For those who are watching, as we do not have anyone here in the audience, per the Open Public Meetings Act, we are opening this meeting right now. We are going to leave this meeting open while we adjourn to executive session. And upon coming back, we will enter back in, but this video will not end. So you may notice that the video keeps running. You will have to fast forward ahead. May I have a motion to approve?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We will be back.
Here. All right. And go back to the other. I went back to the office to get this break and hopefully. Did you? Oh, I heard that in my ear. I was like, I think one of them are proposals, I think, and then the other one's something with the ethics. No, I think they're all three.
Is the meeting for the condos?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How are you? No, no. November, December. Yeah, you did. You got it. You got it on the newsletter. You got it. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Absolutely. Hi, Elaine. Hey. Hold on. We doing? Yeah.
This is what it was, yeah. We can't sell. Yeah, what's it? I know.
Well, that's a whole other thing. That's just not even, yeah, that's a whole. So that's good. Yeah, exactly. It's an area that we just don't want to get into. I mean,
State changes.
Oh, you can enjoy it. It's great. It's great. They put a nice show on. Okay. Exactly. Oh, it's a lot of stuff. I'm sure it's the same. That's from New York, and I love it. You go, girl.
How much do they have? Right, they need to.
Oh, good. I don't know if you want to confirm that, but it looks like, as far as I'm concerned, it looks like we're back.
Excellent. Looks like we're back in session. I apologize for those of you sitting here waiting, and those at home who had to stop and restart. So let's continue on with our discussion item for affordable housing. Committeeman Viola was discussing the extension of affordability controls for the units at the Grand.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll hopefully continue uninterrupted, and hopefully the folks on the live stream can hear us loud and clear. We do suggest that you consult your own professional, an attorney, an accountant. We do not believe that the $40,000 is taxable, but that's not our position to take. You should consult with your own professionals. Take your professional's advice. There was also contact information on that letter that you can reach out directly to our affordable housing attorney and get your individual questions answered. We also are moving into round 4, as you know. We've discussed at previous meetings that we did in early September. We're notified that there were 3 objections to our round 4 plan. Our round 4 plan from July 1st of 2025 to June 30th of 2035 is 101 units. We have that 10-year period of time. But we have what's called a durational adjustment. A durational adjustment is we are a town without water and sewer service, and that impedes our ability to deliver those units. So we have claimed a durational adjustment. We have 3 objectors to our plan. Fair Share Housing Center, that is the previously court-appointed advocate from round 3. They object to a lot of housing element and fair share plans, so that's not a surprise. Then we had 2 developers with 2 pieces of property. One, March and Associates, the developer, property at 68 Obi Road, the Squilari Farm. They want to develop that. They want to put 202 townhomes on it. And then the second is Wellspring Stables, active acquisitions out of North Jersey. They want to put in 400 or 500 units on Wellspring. So that being said, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague because we've discussed this at previous meetings. We have the base, the Naval Weapons Station Earl Base that comes from the pier, goes out into the Raritan Bay, comes down the pier, around all of the communities. It's the border of the base. That's the fence line. There also is several other lines that were put into place as a result of a joint land use study between the Department of Defense across the entire United States, across the entire 48 contiguous United States. They did a land use study on base sustainment. Will these more frequent and more aggressive storms affect a base's ability to deliver its mission? That's the question they asked all across the 48 states. They also did the joint land use study with each individual county's planning board. So the Monmouth County Planning Board is also involved in this joint land use study. There is a 3,000-foot barrier. You've got the line that comes around the base. There's another 3,000-foot barrier. That's the military exclusion area. What that means is don't put high-density housing, don't put schools, don't put for assisted living, don't put hospitals, et cetera. Why? Well, the first reason is very simple. It's a munitions base. God forbid there was a catastrophic accident, there'd be a serious issue with public safety inside that area. So those two objectives, Wellspring Stables on 537 and the Squilari Farm on 68 Obi Road are in that area. So I'll hand it off to my colleague to give a little bit more detail on the Navy's position.
So, thank you, Deputy Mayor. The committee received a letter from the Navy just a few days ago. Yesterday. We discussed it in executive session, and we will make it public and put it up on our website for everyone to see. It's a lengthy letter. There's a lot of detail in there, but the sum and substance of it is that high-density housing, in the Navy's opinion, is incompatible with base sustainment. What that means is they are opposed to high-density housing, especially when it falls into this within the 3,000-foot military influence zone. And when you look at Wellspring Farms on 537, the majority of the 160 acres falls within that military influence zone. So the Navy is taking a very strong position that any high-density housing development on that property would be incompatible with the Navy's interests. Frankly, I think it's a well-thought-out letter. I think it's well-reasoned, and I think it will carry a lot of weight. The Obi Road property is a little different, but has a lot of the same characteristics that the Wellspring Farm property has. It's also close to the military base. It's in a part of town which is not easily accessible. You need to go down Hoxsockin Road over the military rail line, which carries munitions out to the pier. So there are a lot of reasons why that property should not be compatible with high-density development. There is a mediation, court-ordered, court-scheduled for this Friday with our attorneys and all the interested parties and a mediator to discuss the objections, to discuss these properties, and to discuss the Navy's concerns. We will report back to you periodically as developments warrant, as we get new information. We will keep you, the public, posted on what's happening with those objections. But one thing to be cognizant of is, there are developers that want to build in our town, and it's going to take time and money for the Township Committee to make sure that any development that happens is consistent with the law, consistent with our best interests. So we should be prepared for a lengthy discussion, let's put it that way. And as developments happen, we'll report back to you.
And also consistent with our master plan. So our planning board works very hard, and approximately every 10 years, they work to develop a master plan, which really lays out the infrastructure of our town, what we see things looking like, the different zones and areas, and making sure that it fits in line with our master plan. So it's really smart planning. So thank you. And one of the things that people, if we're posting this letter, that it is not just about the 3,000-foot line, which when I grew up around here, we called that the implosion zone. It's not just that, it's the railway. And I had the opportunity to attend probably about a year ago now. The military is rebuilding the second railway. So there is a railway that runs from Colts Neck all the way out to the pier in Middletown. And that railway runs along a military road, and there's 2 railways, and the military is investing a tremendous amount of money to is up and running, just in case something happens to the first, just to ensure that the base operations are able to continue. So that they're going to be doing a lot of infrastructure work from here up until the shore area. And we've been kept in touch with the loop with Monmouth County and all the different towns along the way, but they are shoring up the efforts of the base and really strengthening that. So, you know, we support their mission and what they're doing as well. And we don't want to put any more residents in harm's way than already are. So was there anything else that anyone wanted to put in?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing on affordable housing. Another update. At our last meeting, I mentioned to you that the lawsuit that was filed by 30 towns in New Jersey against the affordable housing program would be heard on September 29th, I think. The court took only 1 day to decide the issue, unfortunately, and on December 30th, the court dismissed the lawsuit, objecting to the affordable housing. Now, the 30 towns have vowed to appeal that decision, so the fight goes on in the appellate courts, but as far as the state court action, that action was dismissed. The same towns, led by the same attorney, have filed an action in federal court, again objecting to affordable housing developments. I believe that case is going to be heard in court on a motion to dismiss it on October 28th. So I'll report back to you when the court decides and issues an opinion in the federal court action.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to new business. We have our first reading introduction of ordinance 2025-22, ordinance approving and authorizing the tax agreement by and between Colts Neck Township and Grand Condo Portfolio LLC for the preservation of affordable housing located at the Grand in Colts Neck. This is the first reading introduction by title. Comments?
Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
This codifies the pilot arrangement that we've made with the owner of the 14 rental units. What we did was we calculated out the ad valorem, which is an assessed value of taxation, versus a pilot. A pilot is a payment in lieu of taxes, and it usually is deployed when a developer wants to build a big project. This is a very unique case. These units are already built. The roads are already there. We already plow the roads. We already pick up the brush. We pick up the leaves. There's no additional implications. There's no building going up with big question marks as far as what will the impact be to the community when this building is completed that you gave the developer a pilot. So we have given them a pilot for the 14 rental units. The other 8 rental units will migrate. And when I say migrate, if there is a qualified renter in those units, they cannot be thrown out of there. If they're qualified, they can stay in there as long as they want, as long as they can, and they're protected. It's when that tenant vacates, that those 8 units, the owner can then migrate to market rate, and they will pay market rate taxes. The difference in the taxation was minimal. It was actually advantageous for us to take all of the estimate of the pilot, and we're going to extend that directly to the Colts Neck Board of Education, to the K to H district. We will not take anything for the township. The county won't get anything. Freehold Regional won't get anything. There's one more. One more taxing item. I'm drawing a blank. Anyhow, Cold Lake Board of Ed will be given those monies to be made whole. Actually, the calculation is the receipts that the schools will receive from the pilot is actually greater than they were getting from the reduced taxes for affordable housing. So it's a good deal for the school too. So these 14 units, it's 21 credits because we get a bonus, a half credit for each of the rentals. That's 21% of our round 4 obligation without any building, without any building permits, without adding personnel, without adding equipment, without doing anything. We think this is a win for the township. So that's what this ordinance does. This ordinance establishes that taxation plan with Grand Rental LLC. Grand Condo Portfolio LLC.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Deputy Mayor Buell?
Yes.
Committeeman Bezetta?
Yes.
Committeewoman Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Committeeman Rizzuto?
Yes.
And Mayor Buss.
I'm recusing myself. Public hearing is scheduled for October 29th, 2025. Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by the township and are adopted or approved collectively by a single motion and roll call vote of a majority of the township committee. If discussion is desired on any item, it is considered separately. We have Resolution 2025-170 to 2025-172. Can I get a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Deputy Mayor Viola?
Yes.
Committeeman Bezetta?
Yes.
Committeewoman Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Committeeman Rizzuto?
Yes.
And Mayor Buss.
Yes. Approval of vouchers. Our finance chair.
Thank you, Mayor. Reviewed the vouchers and purchase orders this morning. It fortunately wasn't that heavy a lift. A lot of expenses and repair work to fire apparatus, fire equipment, fire testing. $84,194, $7,215 repair. We also have the air power testing, $1,925. Monmouth County Shared Services for vehicle equipment, vehicle repair, $3,373. Repair to $84,190, $4,955. Task line fire apparatus, 20 small engine cans for fuel, small portable cans for fuel, $2,300. Jungle lasers, which is our building department software package, $10,100. So these do add up, but the total voucher list was $177,046.68. I moved the amount of $177,046.68 for payment.
Second.
Can I get roll call?
Deputy Mayor Viola?
Yes, with the usual exceptions.
Committeeman Bezetta?
Yes, with the exception of the fire department.
Yes.
Committeewoman Fitzpatrick? Committeeman Rizzuto?
Yes, with the exception of the fire department.
And Mayor Buss.
Yes, with the exception of any bills related to the municipal court. Administrators report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one item this evening. The 2025 Capital Road Improvement Project is underway, as you may or may not know. We awarded that contract back in early September. They were originally not going to start until mid-October, but due to some scheduling conflicts with another municipality that they are also under contract with, they were able to start with us sooner. So about 85% of the curb and inlet work has been completed. They have since left Colts Neck to go back to the other project. They will be coming back in about 2.5 weeks to finish up the inlet work and then curbing and inlet work and start the milling and paving. But everything is moving according to plan. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you very much. Township committee reports. Can we start with Committeeman Bezetta?
Thank you, Mayor. Short report from me this month. I attended the seniors luncheon. The seniors group is up to 285 members. It meets on the first of the month. At the last meeting, Department of Health gave out flu shots to people that wanted it. It was a very good turnout. We also had an update given by the president of the Board of Education to the seniors at last month's lunch. Sports Foundation has put out a notice asking for interested volunteers who would like to serve on the board of the Sports Foundation to submit their names for consideration. The deadline for doing so is November 18th, and the election for the Sports Foundation board will be held on November 19th from 8 to 9 p.m. at the library. That's all I have.
Is the public invited to vote on that, or is it the Sports Foundation votes?
Sports Foundation.
Okay. Just to clarify. Thank you. Committeewoman Fitzpatrick.
Thank you. As liaison to the Colts Neck Business Association, I attended their executive meeting last Tuesday where they were discussing the current events and upcoming events. October 15th is their 16th annual pig roast, and you can purchase tickets on their website. It's $40 a person, and anyone can come. It's usually a really great time. At that meeting, they will be introducing their new executive board, and then the next meeting, they will install their new officers for 2026. Also was discussed the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence, which I'm the chair of for Colts Neck. And so I was trying to find a way for the CMBA to get involved, and something we came up with. So we're going to have a barn tour in May, which I think will be a lot of fun and goes back to our equestrian history. And actually, one of the lairds at Colts Neck Inn, his son was a champion stallion racetrack trainer. So our history does start very early with the horse racing.
So,
Lastly,
Committeewoman, I'm sorry, for anyone sitting here or watching, if anyone is interested in having their barn featured on a barn tour, they
Absolutely,
should reach
yes.
out to you.
any barns out there?
Okay. You heard it here first. Barns. I don't have one. I wish I did. Go on.
I have a garage.
My garage wouldn't cut it.
So hopefully have at least 10 or so. That would be nice. Last evening, I joined the CMBA and welcomed a new business in town, Pivotal Pilates. It's two sisters, Janice. Jennifer and Candace. They actually have a studio in Mattawan, and they opened another one here in Colts Neck. And so the deputy mayor and mayor and myself were there to welcome Colts Neck along with the CMBA. And they're very happy to have the support there. And I wish them a lot of success, as I do all businesses in town. I was pleased to attend the Coffee with the Cop last week. And I'm always proud to support our wonderful police department. We're very lucky to have them. I attended the Colts Neck Seniors Club luncheon, as I do most month, and I just really enjoy seeing my longtime friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A little disappointed to report that I didn't lose weight just from going to the ribbon cutting yesterday. I was hoping so, but they told me I need to come back for some classes. And as someone I know that actually goes to their other location, I can say clearly it works. So, Committeeman Rizzuto, would you like to share some updates?
All right. Office of Emergency Management, no new updates. I did talk to Director Badaracco. We're still hoping to run a drill. I don't know if we're going to get it in by the end of this year or the beginning of next year, maybe in the spring. Long range, we have nothing. The police department did on October 1st at Delicious Orchards have their coffee with a cop. I heard it was well attended. The chief, unfortunately, I was at work, so I couldn't make it, but I heard it was well attended. And if you have any questions or if you want to ask anything to the police, all the superior officers are usually there. And it's a nice, is it free coffee? I don't know.
The policemen, they bought
They
it for
provide the
everybody.
coffee. Yeah, and you get and you have a cop buy a cup of coffee and a donut. First aid, I did talk to the president, Martha. Nothing new to report there. It has been a busy month on the road, so just drive safely, especially going into the holidays. Alan could tell you we've been quite busy through the fire department and the first aid. And their recruitment is ongoing. They're always running their recruitment drive. So if anybody would like a way to volunteer, they have a very active organization. Unlike other first aid squads, they do have a heavy rescue unit. So it's not just, put people in ambulances. They have a full heavy rescue squad, which means that they go to car accidents and they cut open and pry open cars with heavy equipment, and they have their own heavy rescue team as well as the fire department, but we're all dual trained. So if you're looking a way to volunteer in town, the first aid is, and the fire department, but first aid is always looking for a couple of good bodies to help them out. And historic preservation, our Halloween event is coming up October 25th at Fire Company Number 1 on 537. If anyone has any kids, or if you just like Halloween, it's a haunted hayride. It's one price. You can ride as many as you want. We decorate the trails. We decorate the pavilion. There's food there. It is a very good event, and it's a lot of Halloween for your money. And I don't want to cast any shade on the farm places, but you walk out of there and you wonder where your $100 went. This one is Sports Historic Preservation, and it's local, and it's actually a pretty good hayride. So we're pretty proud of that one. And then another one we're pretty proud of is our Country Christmas, December 7th, 1 to 4 at the Montrose School. And that is an open house. That is free. And there's food and drinks, and the kids play in the yard, and there's music and photographs with Santa Claus. Again, a great price point if you want to get your Christmas cards done there. And we have a really Santa Claus himself is actually there, so it's actually a good photo op because we have a real Santa Claus. And I do believe that's it, Mayor. Yep, that's all I have.
Well, thank you very much. And I'll testify to the wonderful ham that is
Oh,
served.
wait a minute, wait a minute.
yeah, you forgot
Betsy,
that part.
Betsy Ross.
Oh, Betsy
Oh,
Ross
right,
is going
Betsy
to.
Ross.
I was gonna wait till
So
next
Historic
time. Yeah.
Preservation Committee presents a series of educational programs to the school system. And this year's reenactor, usually it's in the form of an actor reenacting Thomas Jefferson, Hamilton. This year was Betsy Ross. I unfortunately, again, was at work, but I do believe.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, is it
morning.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it went off already.
No.
It is tomorrow.
I
So
was like,
that
oops, I
is
missed
gonna be- Well, we've been planning it for so long. I thought it happened already. So that is tomorrow, and I believe,
Tomorrow.
Committeewoman Fitzpatrick is going to
And I
that.
will be there as
And the
well.
mayor will be there as well.
I love
So
Betsy
give my
Ross.
And the
regards.
deputy
I've been to
And the
most of
deputy
them.
mayor.
I
Thank
think
you.
I've been on that committee the longest. I think it's going on 17 years. So it's always been a good program, and the kids really enjoy it. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. DPW, Buildings and Grounds, the annex steps, building next door, the back steps. Keep in mind, this is the back. The front of the building is on cedar. This is the back. The steps have been replaced and complete. That entrance is reopened. Second and final brush pickup in Zone 1 will be complete this week. If you live in Zone 1 and don't have your brush out, please don't put it out. It won't be picked up. They've already gone through 95% of Zone 1. Zone 1 will be picked up in April. Zone 2 begins next week. Please follow the leaf guidelines. That comes up at the end of the month, leaf pickup. And there is a special reservation pickup in December, but you got to follow the directions and make a reservation with DPW. A few other issues regarding, or other updates regarding affordable housing. On Tuesday night, the 14th, that's this Tuesday, in this building, the planning board will host Beth McManus, our affordable housing planner. She'll give an informal update to the planning board about the preservation of the rental units. What we will do is we will do drafts until we get a large block of units preserved. Then we'll submit our plan into the program and get the full credit. Knock that obligation down. So that'll be Tuesday night. Also, as Committeeman Bezzetta had mentioned, the letter we received yesterday from the Navy will be posted on the website tomorrow morning. Finance, waiting for the appraisals from the county. They're due next month. That's the first part of budgeting, when we find out how much the appraisals go up. So when we have that number, we'll share that number with you. And then lastly, I don't know if the mayor was going to talk about wildlife, but it's the rut, the deer rut. It's deer mating season through December. They're going to be going nuts, and there's a lot of them. The bucks will chase a female for 72 hours to get what it wants. Please use caution. Please flicker your bright lights, flash the bright lights, drive slowly. Advise young drivers, particularly from dawn and then dusk. During the day, it's a little different, but at night, they're particularly active. So please be cautious with the deer activity. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. And yes, I have seen a lot of deer on the side of the road.
And you've hit a lot of deer.
Let's just clarify, a lot of deer have hit me.
That's your handle, isn't it, Deer Magnet?
Yes, yes, I am single-handedly controlling the deer population in our town. Couple updates I had. Friends of the Library, our book sale, they're no longer taking donations, is going to be on Saturday, November 15th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sunday, November 16th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I look forward to getting my gifts for all of my fellow committee members and some of our special employees. So that is going on for Friends of the Library. Appreciate all their work. There's a lot of work that goes into that. I can tell you, a lot of work. And they have some great books there. Cold Snack Prevention Alliance. Thank you again, Anita, for all that you do for that. We spoke about upcoming speakers over at the high school. There's a lot of activity going on, really looking at, preventing drugs, mental health, not preventing mental health, but encouraging positive mental health. So a lot of good stuff going on there. Board of Health. Sit down. I got a long, no, I'm just kidding. It's not that long. You had already mentioned the flu clinic. On November 8th, for those of you who have animals, there's a free rabies clinic being held at Bucks Mill Park from 9 to 10:30. We spoke of West Nile virus, what's going on so far. In New Jersey, we've had 16 human cases of West Nile virus so far. This is as compared to 42 reported cases in 2024, just to give you a little bit of context there. I apologize, the public health in me just can't. I get all excited about this stuff. We also discussed measles. There's been a lot in the news lately about measles. So far in the United States, we've had 1,544 cases throughout 42 states. In New Jersey, we have had 10 cases of measles. Fortunately, we haven't had what's known as community spread in the state of New Jersey yet. I say yet. But the New Jersey Department of Health recommends vaccinations with MMRs. I'm not giving the recommendation myself. I'm just letting you know. That they are making that recommendation. 1 to 3 out of every 1,000 children infected with the measles will die. I know for me, I always thought the measles was kind of like, oh, it's a little rash that you get. It can be serious. And if you are pregnant, you have a very, very high risk of miscarriage. So just letting you know, the measles is and actually a recommendation for those of you who saw in the news was recommended to separate the MMR vaccine, which is right now 3 vaccines. They made a recommendation to separate them. Don't worry, I'll report back for you guys. We also spoke of a couple concerns that were brought to the attention of the health department regarding some commercial operations in town, people operating without permits, things going on that shouldn't be, parking concerns. And we spoke of that and addressed some of those concerns and really looked at proper food distribution and preparation. One of the things, as of 2026, our health department will be posting on our website. So there are conditional satisfactory ratings that restaurants in our town receive. We will be posting that on our website for people to see where restaurants in our town stand. So as of 2026, our health officer will be doing that. And just a couple unrelated things to committees. I had the wonderful, wonderful pleasure of attending the retirement of Naval Weapons Station Earl Chief Victor Hune. As we are a volunteer firefighting community here. Earl has a paid fire department, and they are on the majority of our fire calls. We have 2 folks here in the fire department. I think they can attest to our full relationship with Naval Weapons Station Earl that we've had for a long time, and we appreciate all that they've done. And we're very sad to see Chief Hune go, but I wish him well in his future endeavors. So I had that great opportunity. I also had the wonderful pleasure of presenting a proclamation to George Richdale. For those of you who have heard of Richdale Road, George Richdale still lives in the original home that he grew up in off of Richdale Road, and he turned 99 So I had the opportunity of meeting his friends and family, and celebrating a lot of the accomplishments and all that he's done here for our town. And that was just wonderful. And they actually set up 99 bottles of beer on the wall. It was very creative, but if anyone wants to see the picture, I have it. I also had the go back to lose some weight and get in better shape. I also had the lovely pleasure of helping out at the Women's Club yard sale that was this past weekend. Was over the course of 3 days, but the work that goes into it is way longer. So again, Anita, thank you for all that you do for that, and those of you involved. I saw several of you there shopping, buying things. Really appreciate everything the Women's Club does. And that was a lot of work. So thank you for that. I have a few Girl Scout tours coming up, which is where the Girl Scouts come in. We talk about leadership and government. I'm very excited about that. And then lastly, for those of you interested in getting involved, please, I would encourage you, and I know a few of you, I see you in the audience, I saw your citizen leadership forms come through. I'd encourage you, if you want to get involved, don't just sit on the sidelines and think this and think that, get involved. Fill out a citizen leadership form and get involved with one of our boards, committees, commissions. And for those of you who are involved in things not necessarily associated with the town, but in the town, I really thank you for your service. We have our Vice President of the Board of Education here, Phyllis. Thank you for all that you do for the Board of Education. That is certainly a thankless job. But, you know, really volunteering your time is really the best way you can give back to your community. And lastly, on EFC, I just wanted to mention that we have Executive Fire Council Breakfast with Santa. I'll say this again in November, but they have Breakfast with Santa over at Colts Neck Fire Company number 2, Saturday, December 6th and December 7th. You can go to the Colts Neck Fire Department events and they have tickets there. It is just a fabulous event. They do an amazing job every year. Fighters, so I definitely would encourage everybody to go there. That is all I have, even though I feel like that was a lot. With that being said, can I have now I need to read our procedure for public comment first. See, I got so for your public comment. The Colts Neck Township Committee welcomes comments from members of the public. Raise your hand if interested in being heard. Once recognized, identify yourself clearly, stating your name and address for the record. Your comments will be limited to 4 minutes. Once you have finished speaking, we will respond accordingly. Can I get a motion to open to public comment?
Moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody?
Come on
Let's
down.
start here. You can come right up to the microphone and state your name and address.
My name is Joseph Leonardo. I live at the Grand, but I'm representing my mother, Ann Leonardo, who's in affordable housing.
A little closer.
Just for clarification, the 50% recapture thing, that's on the price of the unit was purchased at, or at the price of the maximum affordable price?
That would be at the price the property would be sold at. If we released the affordability controls and it were sold it for $200,000, it was purchased for $100,000, the township would receive $50,000, 50% of the recapture.
Okay,
That's only if the affordability controls were lifted, which I'll be very candid with you. We don't intend to lift the
Okay.
affordability controls.
yeah, so I thought I read that, there was nothing over the, it was the actual price that's rated at now. Like my mother's house is $198,000. She bought it for $101. So she would pay, from the 101, anything above that?
No, it would be from the second,
198.
yeah, the 198 to whatever price we're sold at, 50% of that would be put back in the
If you sold it to
developer's
the
trust.
town, you didn't have to pay any of that.
Pardon me?
You sold it to the town, then you didn't have to pay anything.
Correct.
Okay.
Or if you chose to extend the affordability controls,
You'd receive $40,000.
you would receive payment and you can stay in
And
the
I understand
property.
you can't lease it then to anybody, right?
Correct.
My mother, 91 years old, she's not going to live 30 years. I wish she does. but she's not. So what would happen then?
When and if the date comes that your mom would want to sell the property, the township may purchase it at that time.
Or your mother can choose to sell it to a qualified buyer, of which the township has a very long list. We are in Region 4 of affordable housing, and there's a large, long list of people who would qualify to buy. So she would then be able to sell it, not necessarily, you could sell it to the town, but really the intention is to have affordability controls extended. You would get payment, and then when the time comes and you choose to sell, you would sell it to a qualified buyer who would then have the opportunity to live, work, and play there the way she did for
Yeah.
however long she
I'm
was
sure
there.
she's going to be there for the rest of her life. But I'm just thinking that $40,000 for these restrictions on your house for the next 30 years might, in the future, 10 years from now, seem like a foolish move. But who knows? Has there been any changes since the time that people actually signed this agreement until now?
From the original signature, there shouldn't be any, shouldn't be
Not
any changes. No.
Okay, thank you. What about title changes as far as if somebody passes or if a house is repossessed? What happens then?
So I can say that just in my other world, I work in the realm of this. And so when you own a property, it is titled as if it was your property. So the title can be transferred over to your estate. It can be deeded over to a child. If this is your mother and she chose to title it over to you. And many people have asked, because I've had this question, when it's titled over, people are not necessarily income qualified to get that. You don't have to be income qualified to have it titled over.
And then you still be restricted about not being able to lease it?
That's right. You would still, it is on the deed restriction. You're an owner occupied. It is an owner occupied unit. As soon as the owner chooses not to live there any longer, they would then sell.
Okay, so I have a couple of grandkids who I'm sure will be under that limit. Could I sell it to them, or the town still has the first right?
Well, the town has right of first refusal, but if you sold to a qualified, affordable housing qualified owner, that's fine too.
Okay, but
Or
the
you
town
could
still-
deed restrict to the grandchildren. You have that, so you don't necessarily have
I'm
to
not sure what that
sell it.
means, but it sounds.
I'm saying you wouldn't necessarily have to sell it to your family member. You would be able to do a like title transfer.
So they would actually
with it.
be able to get control of the house.
Yes.
Thank you. Guys, thank you.
And just, I want to encourage anybody who is in this situation, people, yeah, I was going to say, so you can certainly speak with the letter that you received, comes with, people that you can speak to, a name that you can get information on as well. So.
All right, thank you.
But
You're
you should
welcome.
consider your own attorney and tax. If you're considering the $40,000, you should.
It's my mother's decision, not mine. She just asked me to attend this and to answer questions that she wants because she wasn't able to come here. She's not-
Absolutely.
Thank you.
My name's Jeffrey Cook. I'm at 40 Federal Key in Colts Neck. I've been there for 30 years. Cook, C-O-O-K. I have a few questions similar to the gentleman before me. And first of all, thank you all for your service to our town and community. It's appreciated. Now, first question, when would payment be made on that $40,000? Is it going to be a lump sum or is it going to be over years? Can you shine light on that?
It would be a lump sum likely paid in the first quarter.
If we could just have him ask all the questions, because it's very
I'm
hard for
sorry.
me to keep time constraints. So if you could ask all your questions, then we'll answer
Sure,
them.
sure. I got three questions. That's the first one. The second one is you had mentioned that you have to stay there for 30 years. If you don't stay for 30 years, what happens? My mom is likely not going to be there for 30 years. If I get control of the property, do I have to stay there for 30 years? Can you elaborate on that? I know you touched base on it just now. And then the third question was that you had, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, said that you were prepared to buy out all 66 units if needed. I believe on average, they're about $170,000 right now for the affordable housing. And again, I may be wrong. That'd be about $11.7 million. Is Colts Neck prepared for that? Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I'll just chime in on a few things and then Deputy Mayor Ken as well. Yes, the township is prepared. We have passed a bond ordinance to engage in said activities. I don't see the township needing to purchase all units. Units are anywhere from 145 up to 205 in value, depending on the units. And with that being said, just like any other, let's say you live in a unit yourself. You could choose to take the $40,000 and stay there for, say, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 30 years. And then you have the ability to sell it to a qualified buyer and keep all of the profit. Okay. A lot of people purchase these homes at, $50,000. Some of them are upwards of $205,000. Now you get to keep all of that. Okay. If your mother, for example, you said if your mother's there, if she was to deed it over to you in her estate when she, God forbid, passes, you would be able to then turn around and sell it to a qualified buyer. You don't have to stay there. The township, it's not the township's desire to purchase homes from everybody. It is to maintain the affordability controls that everybody has had the opportunity to take advantage of throughout the 30 years, or some people have only been there 10 years. So maybe their profit margin is not as big. But if I bought it for $50,000 and it's now worth $200,000, there is profits to be made. So it's not as if there's, people cannot walk away making some profit. But the way affordable housing was set up and still exists to this day, and someone had asked, has anything changed in the past 30 years? Affordable housing has strengthened within the state of New Jersey, meaning the state is very engaged in keeping affordable housing and making more affordable housing. So it's really that intention to make sure that that opportunity exists for others as well. And before I go in my affordable housing tangent, Deputy Mayor, did you want to chime in with something else?
So we have no intention of buying and keeping 66 homes. We would buy it and hopefully sell it as quickly as we could to an income qualified individual, that therefore the affordability controls would remain in place for 30 years. So yes, we actually are closing on one imminently. We have exercised our right of first refusal previously. We would continue to do so if that's necessary, but we have no intention of keeping the properties. We'll sell them to an income qualified person, and then we would have the extended credit for 30 years.
And the reason for that, obviously, right? We have a state that's mandating that each town have a certain number of affordable housing. The law allows us to extend affordability on existing units, all 66 owner-occupied and the 14 rental units, so that if we're successful, we can come very close to our state-mandated number without any new development in town, right? Without a drain on the resources, without needing more schools, more roads, more police. So this is the policy choice that we've made to extend affordability so that we maintain our immunity to builders' remedy lawsuits and reduce the number of high-density units in town. Sure. Thank you.
I believe the only question that wasn't answered was when would they receive the $40,000 payment?
Within the first quarter.
Likely early in the new year. In the new year.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, right there.
Hi, I'm 18 Parker Pass in Colts Neck. Again, I would like to say what Jeff said. Thank you, everybody, for your time and effort that you put into the town. It's very much appreciated. And we know it's all not a thankless job a lot of times. So my question directly is to the part about, has something changed? And this is what has been really troubling me, is because I've read over my deed from how long we've been here. And it seems like a lot has changed, in my opinion, because in the wording that I've highlighted for myself, there's nothing about the right of first refusal. It's all about it when it expires in 30 years, that you will be able to sell it for market value and return 50% of the profit from the highest point of when it was in the. So now it's changed with the letters that we're getting that's saying that you have the right to first refusal. And we all know that you're going to do that, because why wouldn't you? Because it does make sense to keep them into the program. So that makes sense. But not only that, if we decide not to take the money, keep it or whatever like that, we're still in the program when the letter that you sent us and the deeds and everything says you're out of the program. So we're out of the program, but we're in the program. We can't get out. There's absolutely no way to get out. Town, or sell, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. So basically, how did it go from the deed that I have here signed to the one that does say that it is, we are now kind of pigeonholed into that? And again, it doesn't mean that I want to leave or whatever, but it just don't understand how that happened. That is, I've had this in my files for, 20 something years.
So Susan, thank you so much for coming. I just want to say a few things before my affordable housing folk jump in here. Everybody's situation individually is different. I do know with affordable housing law that deeds should come along with an affordable housing covenant and restrictions. I don't know why yours is or isn't. I can't speak to that, but I really would encourage you to reach out to the number on your letter that you got. Although I guess I was just saying, we're not attorneys up here. We're not directly involved in the legal aspect of that. But I would encourage you to reach out for that. But in affordable housing, the way the state works, when you buy an affordable housing property, there's deeds, restrictions, and covenants that go along with your title. Some are written within the title, depending on your title company. Some come as an addendum. I can't speak to why yours might not, but what I know of with affordable housing, in full disclosure, for those of you who wonder, I myself live in the Grand. I do not live in one of these units in particular, but I live in the Grand, so I have recused myself from this process for the simple reason that I am conflicted. And to me, as somebody who lives there, I want to see the best for everybody there. So I would really just encourage you. It is not the intention of the town to, change the rules and change the laws, but I certainly would encourage you to reach out to the number on there and kind of work that out as well. But anybody else?
You pretty much covered
I'm
it.
sorry, I did have a question. So,
I again thank everybody for their patience with the technology.
We're back in.
Just repeat your name. I didn't hear your name. Your
Edward
name and
Thompson,
address.
3 Parker Pass. The question I have is, I understand that if we sign the extension of the affordable housing on that, it's $40,000. Is there a restriction to, after you take that $40,000, okay, say 6 months, a year down the line, we decide to sell? Is there any restriction to that?
We're just
Yeah,
asking
well,
that we
it's
sell
Because
to
you're
a
getting an
income
upfront
qualified person.
40,000 to to continue the deed restriction
For 30 years.
for 30 years. And the township at this point is willing to purchase those units at whatever that
At the
rate
re-
is,
at
it's
the
said
restrict-
within a
at the
letter.
maximum restricted price.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Tina, I see you in the back over there.
Tina Rose, really 36 Parker Path. So I don't want to complain, but you can't get in touch with the lawyer who sent the letter. And Tim hasn't been around all week. So it's really hard to get answers. I got a letter sent to the person who owned the house before me with a whole different amount of everything. So that's one thing I really need someone to handle. Second, so if the program goes on forever, the 40,000 is just like a little gift for us to sign on, and this way we get the credit sooner. Otherwise, is there a difference between a program that doesn't end and you take the 40 or you don't take the 40?
Do you have any other questions, Tina? Just because I don't want to,
Yeah, like I'm just wondering, what's the difference? Some people that I spoke to in the neighborhood just in conversation said, well, we're just going to stay, but we're not going to take the 40 this way. We don't have to be in the program. But you are, right?
But it still is. It's still deed restricted. So the
Right.
township rights still remain in place.
Right, so there is really no way to be out of, it's a program and that's it. The 50
Yeah,
is
and-
like a way of us getting into this phase where you can sign the credit sooner, kind of to get us to sign on. Yes or no?
That's exactly right. And just again, so people understand, this is state mandated. The township didn't wake up and say, this is what we're doing with affordable housing. So a lot of this is the state mandated requirements when affordable housing was started back in 1975, and these restrictions were put in place. These restrictions have only strengthened over time. And it's not necessarily a program. It is a deed restriction, as if, let's say, I'm like farmland preserved and the only thing I can do on my property is farm the land. So it is a deed restriction. It's not necessarily a program. So in order to change that, there needs to be something done with the title and the deed. The purpose of affordable housing was not so people can come in and pay low taxes for 30 years and pay reduced rates. It was to give people an opportunity that would then, hopefully when you do better, or you're so happy staying where you are, which for those people who live in the Grand, it really is truly a wonderful place to live and raise a family and all of that, is to then, if you want to move on, you move on, and someone else has that opportunity coming forth. And that's really the intention that was set forth back in 1975, and it continues to this day. And the state feels very strongly about that, so strongly that they are forcing municipalities to build things and extend controls and do those kinds of things. But it really is for the main reason of giving everybody the opportunity of having this great life and this great experience that many of us have had the opportunity to do. So,
Okay, and just
and Tina, by
lastly-
the way, I did write down your information so that we can get somebody
Yeah,
to
and
get in
there's one
touch with
other
you.
gal. There may be 2 or 3 of us that got all wrong information. So just, if that would be corrected, that would make it easier too. In terms of what the value is, I think that was off. Okay, thanks.
Okay. We'll have the attorney reach out to you.
I have my name still wrong too. Should I put my name on that list or then there's something wrong on my letter? If, my name's not correct. Like Susan says Suzanne.
Yeah, I don't know
And
how.
that's
yeah.
technical, that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Amounts are a problem.
Thank you. Mrs. Mann?
Elaine Mann, 587 Route 34, Colts Neck. I'd like to apologize to Trina Lindsay. I was mistaken. You did send me my Oprah request in reference to the amount of money paid to the Township of Colts Neck for the disposal of metal recycling. Usually I ask for a hard copy. I failed to check the box and you sent it via email. Thank you, Trina. As always, you are very polite and very efficient. Committeeman Bezetta, when you stated that the collective towns that sued on affordable housing, the judge, he didn't actually rule against them, did they? Or not? Because he dismissed it and that was without prejudice. So they could bring it back up to the courts if they wish. What sort of work did Griffith Engineering perform on the new town hall? And it warranted an $18,271.32 charge. Weren't they the original engineers in company providing us with this wonderfully unique, expensive building? What type of shared service agreement do we have with Homedale Court that would warrant us paying for an interpreter for Homedale Court, a charge of $975, and for telephone for them at $174.30, for a total of $1,149.30? When Colts Neck Court phone, it was $181.68. On the grant of Clean Communities, there was a check made out to Healthy Alternatives, Work Responses, Bias, Prejudice for $400. A check to Kevin Brooks for Healthy Alternatives for $1,500. So it was a total of $1,900 for all Healthy Alternatives. What's the purpose of the grant? It's litter abatement. You had only 3 cleanups this year. Some of the grant monies have been used for National Night Out. Is that not correct, Mayor Buss? You stated that that event was a success and it did not cost the taxpayer 1 penny. It is the grant monies given to the township with certain rules and regulations and considered taxpayer money. We pay a tax on paper and plastics for this grant. And we use this grant for National Night Out, $986.28, ice cream, $1,765, and gaming for $950, which was a total of $3,701.28. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mann.
Mrs. Mann, a couple of things. Clean Communities is not the grant source for any of the expenses that you've just articulated. Healthy Alternatives and National Night Out were paid for by the Prevention Alliance funds from the Governor's Council on Substance and Alcohol Abuse. That's who paid for those, and it was approved expenses. Secondly, all Homedale Court expenses are paid for by Homedale. We just have to voucher them because it's money coming in and money going out. It's not Colts Neck taxpayer money paying for Homedale Court costs. And yes, that case was dismissed, but it was, as you had mentioned, without prejudice. It will be appealed. So that's the natural national progression of litigation.
Well, just to clarify, so.
And Griffin Engineering is not the engineer in the building. They were our buyer's engineer. They represented us as an integral in between the professionals and the township. He worked for the township. That was for 3 months. That was for June, July, and August. Thank you. Excuse me.
So just to clarify, the state court litigation, the judge dismissed the complaint, finding that the towns did not state a viable legal claim. So in essence, it was a ruling against the town. The ruling is without prejudice. With prejudice, meaning the towns cannot refile the same action in state court. However, they do have the right, and they say they will exercise the right to appeal. So it's a dismissal, but with the right to appeal, and the towns now will be appealing to the appellate division, which is the intermediary court. So it will be reviewed by a new set of judges who will determine if the trial judge acted appropriately or not.
And just to speak very briefly in defense of National Night Out, it's a fantastic program. It's all the positive role models in town come out: the police, the fire, the first aid, the fire police, local businesses, the DPW, the county prosecutor's office, and it's for the kids. It's for the kids, yes, and we give them ice cream, and it's a great time, and they listen to music, and they get a positive message, and they get to be around positive role models, and it's a great community event, and it's enjoyed by the entire town. I can't think of a better event to have. I've been involved with many, many, many national nights out here and throughout Monmouth County. It is a wonderful program. It's been around for a long time, and it will continue to be fully funded and put
And
forth
paid
every year
By the Alliance.
by the
by the Alliance.
Prevention Alliance, the Governor's Council.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Al Ryan.
Alan Ryan, 24 Ann Street. Yesterday, with the fire department, I had the pleasure of going over to, and it was a great day because the kids just make it a great day. They're so engaging. They ask questions, and the questions are great, and it's just a lot of fun. I want to thank number 2 and Nick Sakudis and Tyler Balaracco and Tom Orgo Jr. for going over there, and they spent the morning there, and we're all volunteers. And piggyback on what you said, there was a person there that worked at the school, and she was a first aider, and we got to talking. And I just want the people in the town to just remember and never forget, these are the people that are going out and helping you. They're there at all hours of the night. They see things, all right? And just remember that. And it was a nice conversation we had, but you could see that they have the right thing on their mind and all that, and they do the right thing, and it just should never be forgotten. One other thing, I'd come up here about a prayer, beginning of the meeting, very quick. Guide the Township Committee, God bless Colts Neck, God bless America, and that's it. That's what I'm asking, just consider, and that's it, all right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
No problem.
Ms. Kukla?
Mary Kuklo, 67 Blackbriar Drive. I just wanted to mention this because I spoke to someone today from the Grand who actually got a hold of the lawyers and had a long conversation with them. And as this resident stated, and I've read the deed that's filed in Freehold, it clearly states that at the end of 30 years in a day, the covenant expires. So she wanted to know why, if it expires, are we still in the program? And the answer that she got from the lawyer today was that it's the interpretation of our lawyers in town that the state law, blah, 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 supersedes the covenant. That's her interpretation. I don't want to get involved in this, but I can understand the confusion here. The other confusion is it states clearly in the deed that the units cannot be sold for less than or more than, while they're under the 30 years, the fair housing price. But yet Mr. Siegel sold them for way below the affordable housing price. And nobody said anything. It's in direct violation of the deed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kuklo. Again, the township was not involved in that as well, Ms. Kuklo, as somebody who has not sat on this dais and been privy to some of the information that we have, while I appreciate your opinion, you should come to us and speak to us about it. With that being said, as far as the deeds and restrictions, rental units and owner-occupied units have different covenants and restrictions. So just to clarify, what happened with Mark Siegel, the township was not privy to. I don't disagree that it would have been lovely if Mr. Siegel came to the town and we had that opportunity. I don't disagree with that at all. But people buy and sell property all the time in this town without necessarily asking the township for permission. So I'll leave it at that. Did anyone else want to chime in?
Yeah, I just want to say, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Rumors, the old game of telephone where someone says something and it's translated differently down the line. This is complicated. Affordable housing laws are complicated laws. We reach out to our lawyers for information. I'm an attorney and I reach out to the attorney who specializes in this for information. So I understand that people that are not attorneys will be confused. I get it. But don't rely on what the neighbor says or what the friend of a friend or what's happening in another town. Do what you're doing tonight. Come to the meetings, ask us questions, ask the lawyers questions. We promise you, we're not here to fool anyone. We're not here to take advantage of anyone. We need to comply with the law. We want all of you to comply with the law. Our only goal is to get the best information to all of you so that you can make an informed decision. Knowledge is power, but accurate knowledge is power. Be careful on who you listen to and what you read on the internet. Get the information from the source. Thank you.
Come on up.
Hi, my name is Dorothy Cook. I live at 40 Federal Key. I just want to be sure this is what I understand. So I could take, I've been there 30 years, I could take the $40,000 tomorrow or whenever, and then I can sell my house in a week and still get the profit, the same profit.
Listen, the town is not telling you to do that, but
But that's
you are
what they
being,
said.
you are being compensated for extending the affordability controls on your property and giving others the opportunity to have the same opportunity you had. And the town, just like when Mark Siegel sold his property, the town didn't have the right to say, you can do it this day, that day. The township does not necessarily have the right to tell you when you can sell. So,
The answer is yes.
yeah, the answer is yes. So
That's what I thought.
I'm just saying, like, people are being compensated for extending the affordability controls because we understand that at some point in time, that 50% recapture, we're not looking to see people take a loss of income here. Now, I can't, there may be some people out there that felt like I'm going to sit in my apartment for 30 years. I know most of the people who are over in the Grand who are in those apartments, I don't know many people that were there thinking, I'm going to sit here in this apartment, I'm going to wait till 30 years, and then I'm going to make $1 million when I leave. Most people are there because they love it there, they want to enjoy their time there, and they get to profit from that in a certain percentage of which is allowed for in affordable housing. We don't want to stop that, but we do understand that there is, by extending affordability controls, you would be then selling to a qualified buyer. Okay, we want to make sure that people understand that the township does want to provide some reimbursement for that. So the long answer to your question was yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Yes.
Hi, Tom Laporta, 16 Brookview Drive. I just had a couple of questions. If
I can't hear you. Can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, Tom, could you
How
just
about
come?
now? Good?
Thank you. Thank you.
Tom Laporta, 16 Brookview Drive. Just have a couple of questions. If people in the Grand don't opt to take the 40,000, all right, and later on if they want to sell it, the town has the right of first refusal, and they base that on the affordable housing rates at that time. So what happens with the property taxes? Are they paying, if they don't take the 40,000, do the property taxes jack up to market value? Or is it at affordable housing rates?
Did you want to answer that, or I can jump in?
Well, I have a couple more questions.
Okay, questions, go.
You had mentioned about difference between rentals and ownership with deed restrictions. The new project that's being built on 537, my understanding is all of those are going to be rentals. What kind of deed restrictions are there on the affordable housing? Number one. And number two, why couldn't we just over there have all of it low-income housing and satisfy our requirements rather than having a mix?
Any other questions? I'm writing them down.
I think that will do it for now.
Okay, I'll just jump in there with a few. The 300, well, all affordable. That was owned by Kushner for what, 30 years now? Kushner came forward and presented a project. Their project was for rentals, 72 of which are affordable. We received 144 credits for that because we received double credit at the time for rentals. But it's not that we chose to do rentals. That's what Kushner wanted to do. There is, I believe, a 45-year deed restriction. Yeah, so new affordable housing legislation requires a 45-year deed restriction for new builds. So that deed restriction would carry through for the next 45 years. Did you want to mention about the taxes?
You have anything on the
Well,
taxes?
just Yes, if someone did not agree to extend affordability controls on the property for another 30 years by accepting the $40,000, it is possible that the property taxes at some point will migrate upwards towards the non-affordable level. Still to be determined by the lawyers, but it is a possibility that that is the case.
That kind of hamstrings the people who have it, who don't take advantage of it because they can't sell it unless the town doesn't have right of first refusal and it'd be affordable housing rates.
Well,
That doesn't seem very fair.
it's in limbo, and that's speak to the attorney that sent the letter and address that question directly to the attorneys because it's a complicated issue.
Right, okay. The new housing units, why wouldn't be a higher percentage of affordable?
Oh, I'm sorry. That
That's
was,
okay.
yeah, that was it. As far as 100% affordable housing, we actually did a public information session on affordable housing, and what the public told us is, with that being said, Kushner did not come to us with that project. They didn't offer to build us 100% affordable housing. In New Jersey, the state has a 20% set aside for affordable housing. And what they say is for builders who are willing to build affordable housing, 20% would be set aside for affordable. So there was actually just recently a town that tried to give pushback and said, we want 30% affordable. The state said, no, you can only do 20%. So that is really considered for like non-affordable. To make it profitable, it's a 20% set aside. That's the only reason why. So for the township, if we engage with a group that would do 100% affordable housing for us, if we did like a senior restricted affordable housing community, again, something else that the public said that they really wanted to see, veterans housing, something along those lines, then the town can so choose. But we didn't really have a choice. Kushner came forward with an inclusive community, and that's what the set aside was for.
Plus, the affordable housing advocates in the state is looking for a diverse type of affordable housing, whether it's rental, owner occupied, senior, 100% affordable income, group home, transition home, et cetera. They want to see percentages of different housing. So the Kushner application with the Kushner project with the 72 rentals maxed out our credits at 72 for round 3. So it was capped at 72. We can't get any additional credits for rentals.
To me, it seems more like a money-making deal. So, all right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you
No
very much.
argument here.
Thank
But
you.
Just, it's my understanding if you go 100% responsible for making those builders whole to the market rate of those. So it's not, you're paying either way. You
Yeah, it's
you
not-
have to make them whole somehow.
Yeah.
But depending on where you get the funding from, that's how bad it'll hurt the town.
Yeah, I mean, many times you're donated, the township has to donate the land. Sometimes the township not only has to donate the land, they may have to donate other funding for part of the construction. It's great to say we want senior housing. It's great to say we want veteran housing. It's great to say we want a group home. But it's very challenging in a community like ours that doesn't have water, public water and public sewage, and we don't have a lot of developable property, believe it or not. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Can I get a motion to close public comment?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next Township Committee meeting will be held on Wednesday, October 29th at 7 p.m., 1 Veterans Way, Colts Neck. I do appreciate everybody coming out and asking really good questions. A lot of questions we've been asking for years, so thank you guys very much.